Hey, what's going on, you guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to paint just like the pros using the Graco Magnum X5. I'm going to teach you guys some tips and tricks, things to look out for, things you may need, as well as the pattern that you need to focus on when spraying to get a perfect finish. Stick around and enjoy the video. Alright, so guys, I forgot to mention in this video, if you're watching this between September 5th, 2022 and September 10th, 2022, we're running a giveaway. We reached out to Graco, right, homeowner sprayers on Instagram, and we were like, hey, our people, they love these videos that we put out about the Graco guns. They love the Airless sprayers, and I really want to do something for them. I want to give back to them. They support us so much. I want to be able to, show our love and our appreciation. So they were like, all right, what you guys want to do? I was like, let's go ahead and give away some Graco guns. So of course, this video is of the Magnum X5, right? The big boy Graco when it comes to some of their like DIY series Gracos. But if you guys want to be entered in to win this Magnum X5, we're giving away a Magnum X5 and we're giving away a True Coat 360 variable speed. Down below in the comments, leave a comment of what you would use that Magnum X5 for. And if you go over to our Instagram account and you follow the instructions over there, you'll be entered in to win a True Coat variable speed. So go ahead and do that. Now, let's get back to the video. All right, you guys, so this is a 415 tip from Graco. What this number means is the 4 is multiplied by 2, so you have an 8-inch spray area. The 15 is 1.5 PSI. I believe that's what it is, don't quote me, but that's what we're gonna use for our gun. This is what we're gonna use. It's not gonna use as much paint as like a 515 or a 517 would, but this is perfect for doors, drawers, and shelves whenever you're painting those, okay? And then another thing that you'll wanna have is some type of respirator. Now, when you're painting with a sprayer, there's a lot of overspray, and you really don't want to be breathing in that overspray. So what we use here is a 3M respirator. It's a full face mask, so it covers your eyes, your face, as well as your nose and your mouth. These cartridges are replaceable, so you can take them off, throw them out, and replace them whenever you need to. I recommend replacing them after every 24 hours of use. Not 24 hours in a day, but 24 hours worth of use. Go ahead and replace these cartridges. You can find them on Amazon. So I will have most of this in the link down below. So if you want to purchase this exact setup for your paint setup, you can do so. First steps first, we have to prime the doors before we actually put the final coat of paint on. The primer we're using is this product by Zinsser called 123 Primer. We've been using this for years now. It's a super durable, super strong primer. It hides blemishes, it hides knots. It has a strong bond when it comes to adhesion. So when you're adhering to the wood, you want to make sure that whatever primer you're using has a good adhesion so that it doesn't peel the paint off. You'll notice if you do use something that doesn't have good adhesion, over time the paint will start to chip and then the raw wood will expose. That's why I always recommend using a product that has great adhesion so that doesn't happen over time. Alright, you guys, so before you turn on your Graco, you want to make sure you prime your machine twice. Press the button twice before you turn it on. After every use, we always press it twice before we turn it on. I guess it just opens up the throttle or the system so that it can spray effectively. We've never not done that before, so I wouldn't recommend not doing it. Always push that button a couple times right before you turn on your machine. And then from that point there, this right here, the hose that looks like a microphone, you want to dip this into some type of water just to filter out the system. So what we're going to do here is we're going to dip it into water. And then here you have your spray and prime set switch. So when it's up, it's in prime. When it's down, it's in spray. So you always want to start off in prime. That way you can prime the pump, get it ready, get it acclimated for the paint product that you're about to expose it to. And then you switch it down to spray. And then we adjust the throttle, the paint throttle, to whatever product we're using. So if you're using a primer, it is thicker, so you want a little bit more pressure to it versus using something like a latex paint or a stain, which you don't want as much pressure. We have our tip here. When we slip the tip in, you always want to slip it in sideways because there is a groove that has to slide in place. And then once you slide that tip in place, I twist it backwards and have the arrow pointing at me. That is in unclog mode. So if there's any paint left over inside of your tip, you'll be able to unclog it. This is in spray mode. So now if I were to press the trigger, it'll spray out paint. So I'm gonna put it in unclog mode. We're gonna turn our machine on. Alright, so now that we've primed the filter with some water, and now everything is primed inside the filter with the primer, we have it on spray. So we put our waste tube as well as the paint tube inside the prime bucket. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the line filled with primer, and in order to do that, we basically just increase our throttle. And in the waste bucket, we're just gonna spray the primer until all the water comes out, and then it starts to spray primer. Primer is in the pump, and now it's time to get started painting. Before we do that, we're gonna test it on some test material, as far as like a piece of cardboard paper, just to get our pattern correct. And then once we have the pattern correct, then it's time to start spraying. All right, you guys, so we made it to the painting process. You can see in this clip here how I'm overlapping. You wanna make sure when you're painting that you're overlapping by like 50%. So you'll spray one side and then move the gun down about 50% of that area, and then overlap that area by 50%, and then continue on. I always recommend when you're painting to start on the far side away from you and then work back towards you. And the reason why is because that cable that I'm holding in my hand, if you start on the side that's closest to you and then work away, you run the chances of that cable running along the piece that you just sprayed. And when that happens, you can't wipe it away. You literally have to wait for the paint to dry, sand it smooth, and then redo it over again. Don't ask me how I know, just know a few years of painting, I learned that start on the far side and then work your way back. Now, when it comes to spraying drawers, it is a little tricky because it's not a flat surface. You're working a bunch of angles, corners, and crevices. Always test it in the air, like figure out your flow, how you're gonna spray your patterns before you actually spray the piece. That way you kind of create this little muscle memory of how you're gonna go about spraying that piece. I start from the corners and the sides as well as the trims on the tops, and then I work the bottom shelf area. The reason why is that bottom shelf area, even if you overload it with too much paint, because it is a flat surface, paint is not gonna run anywhere. It will dry smooth. If there are little drips or whatnot, you could just sand that smooth and then go back over it with your second layer of primer. But that's kind of the method that we work. We do the inside of the boxes first, then we work our way on the outside. Also, the mechanism that the drawer is sitting on right now is something that I made by myself. If you want to see a short video of me making that, I did record some clips. It was for like Instagram, but if you want like a quick little video, I could probably put together a short or just a quick video of how I made it. I just found some things around the shop, sandpaper, a couple pieces of blocks. There was one piece that I purchased from Lowe's. It cost about 10 bucks, but overall that's all I spent. And then for the doors, when it comes to painting doors, I like to stand the doors up and paint them from top to bottom, because the top and the bottom will rarely be seen unless someone is on a stepping stool looking down at the top, or they're on the floor trying to look underneath the door. But because we're spraying primer, it's okay to lay the doors down for the first couple passes. After this first coat of primer on these doors, I will stand them up, because the stoppers or the things that are holding the doors up on the table have points, and if you put the painted side on those points, it will create grooves in your doors. So after this first coat, the doors are going to be propped up on the wall, and I'm basically going to spray them on the wall. And as you can see here, I'm doing that little overlap process, starting from the far side and then just overlapping each pass by 50%. So you do the tops and then you do the sides. Hey, and here's the final result. So we did this for a client that was pulling out wire racks. She wanted us to rebuild her pantry, add some drawers, some shelves. You'll notice this door is bigger. We ran into an issue. I wasn't thinking in the future when I was quoting her on this project, but we thought we could get away with adding 2 doors. But once we installed the 2 doors, we realized one door was hitting the wall. So we had to bring those doors back to the shop and remake the door for a single door. It's just a double panel door, similar shaker style, but that's what we had to create. Again, if you guys like this video, my name is Anil from Wood Woodwork. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You know it helps your boy. I don't gotta really tell you that. You guys know that. Shout out to OG San 1. That's my dog. He comments on everything. I don't know the guy, but he comments on everything. If you're watching this, buddy, and you watch to this point, shout out to you, man. You're the reason why, I keep doing this stuff, because when you guys are showing the interaction, showing that you guys like this type of content, it gives me the motivation to make more and more of it. And I really want to create more content for you guys. So thank you for tuning in. It's Anil. I'm out. Peace.